Hello everybody, my name is Inna and I will talk with you about healthcare. So please look at this figure. 1,600 Ukrainians die every day because of severe diseases, because of lack of medications, because they can't afford medications and healthcare services, and because of corruption. Because corruption in healthcare is one of the main barriers to get access to treatment and to healthcare services. I will tell you about some anti-corruption cases where I personally and my organization was involved, because now everything considering like a reform in healthcare could be considered as anti-corruption. So first case, it's procurements of medicines. Before 2014 and that revolution of dignity, which my colleagues mentioned several times today, up to 40% of public funds were laundered annually during procurement of medications on a state level, because the Ministry of Health procured up to 20 medical programs, like medications for people living with HIV, tuberculosis, cancer, different heart diseases, and any other, a lot of other diseases, and medical devices and medications. And this is, by the way, official figure, this 40% of public funds which were stolen. And the situation is so that about 200 companies is registered in Ukraine who could take part in these public procurements of medications. But in fact, only 8 companies each year won these tenders. And these 8 companies were owned by several people. So you can imagine how big the lack of competition it was, and how severe the monopolization of the market by these several people was. And of course, it's a manual regulation of the market, it's no competition, it's high prices, and less medicines procured for the people. So we as NGO decided and invented an out-of-the-box decision what to do with that situation. And we, together with lawyers, designed a special law which transfers the money from the Ministry of Health to international organizations, of very respectful international organizations such as UN agencies. It's UNDP, UNICEF. It's well known worldwide, the procurement agencies such as IDA Foundation, Crown Agents Foundation from Great Britain, and now, according to the law, they can procure medicines for Ukrainians within Ukrainian state budget. What results do we have? It started to work from 2015, and now the results of this new law is that we have $23 million saved in comparison with the procurements which were made by the Ministry of Health of Ukraine. We have 67.5 companies which came directly to the tenders of the international organization. What I mean? I mean that previously, before 2014, there were special, we call them shell companies, who win this tender because the producer directly couldn't come at the tender and win because it was no competition. Now we have direct producers who came and who gave the best prices for the drugs. And even 24 times is the difference in prices for the same drugs which were bought by the Ministry of Health and by the international organizations. So the savings are very significant, and we can buy much more medicines for our patients right now. And for example, it's the first time in the history of our independence, which is 24 already years, that due to the international procurements, we could procure the whole range of vaccines for our kids and for the whole country. There is no lack of vaccines as it was all years before this reform. But between this slide and the previous slide, when we found out this idea, it is, I think, 2.5 years past, because we have made a lot of negotiations, a lot of protests and advocacy actions to achieve these results. We have had a lot of enemies who were interested in preserving status quo and didn't want to give their money because it was like we call them pharmaceutical mafia. So another issue is that on the highest level we developed a law and it started to work. But if to go to the hospital, to the ordinary hospital, very often patients don't receive medicines. They disappear. We don't know where these medicines are. Maybe they are resold, those medicines which procured on the state level, and they go to the hospital. Maybe they are resold by the doctors and pharmacies, because when patients call to our organization and ask where the medicines are. I'm a cancer patient and I know that the state procures these patients for me, but I don't receive them. I receive a receipt from the doctor and I'm asked to go to the pharmacy and buy again. And 97% of patients paid for the medicines in hospital. It's according to our investigation. Yes. So what we did with this situation, we decided to open the door to the hospital, to the information about medicines available in the hospitals, and we developed a very patient-friendly website where each hospital published the quantity of the drugs available on the date. Now you can see it's Ukraine, it's a map of Ukraine, and here are marked the regions of Ukraine which already joined to our website, because we have regional administration which wants to be transparent and which want to show the real situation, and if you are a patient and if you go to the website and click to the region you're interested in and find the hospital where you usually go, and you can easily see the information of the stock outs of the medicines available on the date in this hospital. So this tool is very popular among Ukrainian patients, and we try to spread it through the whole regions of our country, and to connect the whole, all hospitals which we have to this website. Another problem which we have, it's a very small amount of drugs registered in our country. here it is the quantity of drug registered in Germany, in Poland, and you can see how many quantities of drugs are there in Ukraine. It's because the producers, they are not interested to come to Ukrainian market because of, again, corruption and because of a very huge bureaucracy process. So our decision on that was to simplify the registration of drugs, of those drugs which were already registered in US by FDA, in European countries by EMA, it's European registered body, and in some other countries with very strict regulatory rules. So we designed this law, and according to the draft law, the applicant, the producer, will have 17 days, like a very short, a very simplified procedure to register the drug in Ukraine. Because we trust these agencies, we trust these countries, and we know that their specialists are much more qualified than Ukrainian ones, and so Ukrainian specialists shouldn't recheck these drugs already registered in these countries and shouldn't spend time and money on that. And we expect that the quantity of drugs will increase in our market, and that our patients will not go abroad to buy and bring medications in their bag, mostly illegally, or they will not buy them in black market as it is now, but we will have a much more wide range of medicines available in our market. This is the picture how it's an ordinary our work, how we do, how we protest, how we advocate for a law adoption in Ukraine. You see here is like a pharmaceutical curtain, like so this wall from bricks, it symbolizes like a pharmaceutical curtain, and we ruined it on the in front of the cabinet of ministers. It's our government. We took a lot of patience to this protest, and we showed with this that we need to ruin this curtain and to let drugs come into our country, and we succeed. Now here is the meeting with our president. Here is my colleague, the executive director of our organization. She was invited to the ceremony of signing of this law on simplified registration of drugs in Ukraine. So briefly, if you have any questions, you are welcomed. Thank you for your attention very much. I'm the last.